Celtic are set for a massive financial boost this summer thanks to the World Cup, and we have a big transfer story developing around a free agent striker with Celtic connections. There is also a huge question being asked about a managerial candidate. A fan favourite may have already played his last game in hoops, and Celtic's captain is being tipped to stay despite serious interest from abroad. A big show today, let's get into it. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Celtic are in line for a significant financial windfall this summer thanks to FIFA's Club Benefits Programme, with 8 first-team players confirmed for the World Cup across North America. The tournament kicks off on the 11th of June with matches spread across the United States, Canada and Mexico, and Celtic will be extremely well represented throughout the group stages and beyond. Austin Trusty has been included in the United States squad. Anthony Ralston and Kieran Tierney are both in Steve Clarke's Scotland setup. Alistair Johnston is back fit and ready to represent Canada after returning from injury late in the season. Daisen Maeda lines up for Japan. Benjamin Nygren has been selected by Sweden. Sebastian Tunekti is involved with Tunisia. And Yang Hyun-jun has earned another call-up for South Korea. With 8 players heading away, the FIFA payout heading to Celtic Park will be substantial. The last World Cup saw around £155 million distributed between 440 clubs worldwide, working out at roughly £9,000 per player per day across the competition. This time around, the total being distributed has risen to around £263 million globally. With 8 Celtic players involved, the minimum return for the club is estimated at around £2 million. Potentially significantly more depending on how deep each nation goes in the tournament. It is money Celtic will not turn down, especially with a full summer rebuild ahead and Champions League qualifiers on the horizon. Maeda heads into the tournament in frightening form after 9 goals in his last 7 Celtic appearances, including the overhead kick against Rangers and the late winner at Tynecastle that effectively sealed the title. If this summer brings a permanent move for him, he leaves as a genuine club legend. Now for the main story, as serious questions are being asked about one of the names on Celtic's managerial shortlist, with pundit Michael Stewart suggesting Robbie Keane is simply not experienced enough to take the job. Stewart spoke on the Scottish Football Social Show and did not hold back. He acknowledged Keane as a huge name in football, but described him as still being in the infancy of his managerial career. The former Republic of Ireland captain has had jobs in management and has won silverware, including 7 consecutive league titles with Ferencváros in Hungary, but he lost out on the title on the final day of last season and subsequently resigned, which is the backdrop against which a potential Celtic appointment would be judged. Stewart said, "Any of the managerial names that have been touted are going to clearly not be of the ilk of the likes of blockbuster managerial appointments. Robbie Keane is obviously a huge name in football, but he's still fairly inexperienced in his managerial career. I know he's had a few jobs, been relatively successful, but he's still in his infancy of his managerial career. It's not like going and getting a Brendan Rodgers or a Martin O'Neill. Ange was a relative unknown, but had loads of experience." Stewart believes Martin O'Neill is more likely to be handed the role for another season, calling it the safe and conservative option. He said his gut tells him the board will push the decision down the road rather than make a bold new appointment. For Celtic fans, that debate is very much alive. O'Neill has just delivered a domestic double that looked impossible a few months ago. The players believe in him, the supporters adore him, and the case for keeping him is genuinely strong. But the club face a massive rebuild, and the decision on who leads it will define the next era of Celtic Football Club. In other news, a former Celtic transfer target has become available as a free agent, and the timing is one that will not go unnoticed at Celtic Park. Jamie Vardy is leaving Cremonese this summer after the Italian club's relegation from Serie A, and transfer insider Fabrizio Romano confirmed the news directly, stating Vardy is ready for a new chapter. The 39-year-old forward scored 7 goals and registered 3 assists in 29 appearances in Serie A last season, which remains a decent return at the top level of Italian football. This matters because last summer Celtic were among the clubs linked with Vardy before he chose to move to Italy. At that point, the club were in desperate need of attacking reinforcements. Kyogo had already left. Adam Eder followed later in the window, and Celtic were scrambling to replace the goals they had lost. Brendan Rodgers, who of course had worked with Vardy previously in England, was manager at the time. Kelechi Iheanacho was eventually brought in after the window closed as a late solution. Vardy is now free to sign for any club he chooses. Whether Celtic have any interest this summer is a different question. The rebuild ahead is focused on quality and youth, and at 39, Vardy represents a very different kind of signing, but his availability will not be lost on a club that knows they need goals and knows the striker market is never straightforward. The message from the support has been clear all season. Another disorganised summer window where holes are not filled will simply not be accepted. This one has to be different. In other news, Liam Scales has gone on record tipping Celtic captain Callum McGregor to stay at the club this summer, despite growing speculation linking the club legend with a move to Saudi Arabia. The speculation centres on a potential reunion with Brendan Rodgers, who is currently managing Al Qadsiya in Saudi Arabia. McGregor has been one of the most consistent performers in Celtic's history, and with the lucrative money available in the Saudi Pro League, a move at this stage of his career would be understandable, but Scales is not buying it. The Irish defender, who signed a contract extension until 2030, spoke glowingly about his captain after Celtic's Scottish Cup final win over Dunfermline at Hampton, where he himself played a crucial role with a goal line clearance that kept the Hoops on course for the double. Scales knows better than most how much McGregor means to the dressing room. He told Record Sport, "He's incredible. I love playing with him, and I want that to last for as long as it can. He's already been through transitions and showed, with different managers and different styles that he can fit into anything and help us in transitions. If it has to happen again, yeah, you want players like Cal. You want players like that to be here and to kind of help everyone through that." McGregor has won 5 league titles, 3 Scottish Cups, and 3 Scottish League Cups as Celtic captain. He is the heartbeat of this club. Losing him into a summer rebuild that is already going to be significant would be a major blow. Lastly, it has been confirmed that fan favourite Marcelo Saracchi will be returning to Boca Juniors this summer, with Celtic having never made a permanent offer for the Uruguayan left-back. The news was confirmed by Argentine journalist Seba Ongarelli, who spoke directly to Saracchi's agent. The agent revealed that Saracchi had already flown back to Argentina and would be rejoining Boca, and that despite his enjoyment at Celtic, no permanent transfer offer was ever tabled by the club. Saracchi joined on loan from Boca Juniors in August last season and quickly endeared himself to the Celtic support with his energy, work rate and attitude. He may have been a backup to Kieran Tierney in the pecking order, but every time he stepped onto the pitch, he gave absolutely everything. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one.